Well, as you explore the site, make sure that you do not attempt to go into the building. As you can see, this place still contains asbestos. It was the insulation that they would use in the machinery and the equipment that they had in here. Asbestos is a cancer-causing material that if it gets into your lungs can give you something called mesothelioma, and that's definitely not a good thing. If you stay outside of this fence, you would be safe. This place was cleaned up in the 1990s and early 2000s. And it is a place where people come to work and to batting practice down the street, so it is safe. But do not attempt to go inside. It is not a good place to be. This place has many hazards, among them open sewers and manholes. Please be careful as you walk around.
I think we're ready.
As we fly up, you can observe the dominant feature of the site, which is their very tall smokestacks, pollution control equipment that was designed to keep the employees safe from the toxic smoke, the toxic emissions of the coal that was being burned at the site in very large quantities. As we move north, you can see how the building is completely separate from the rest of the factory. It provided the electrical power to run the factory, but it was kept separate in order to keep the employees safe from moving parts, pressurized steam pipes, and from the toxic emissions from the burning coal. As we pan towards the south, you can see the place where the coal would be staged prior to be burned, and in the distance, you will see the place where the bottom ash after the combustion of the coal would be disposed in landfills. As we descend, we see the old engine room. The old steam-driven turbines are no longer in place. They have probably long since been removed and recycled for their metal. As we have a closer glimpse inside, we can see how vegetation is growing on the walls and how the old turbines would be placed in here. It had place probably for 6 turbines, I would say. And this is the place that I'm telling you is highly contaminated with asbestos, and under no circumstances should you attempt to come in here. This is definitely not a safe room to be. I'm doing this by looking with the drone in through one of the windows, and this is the only way that you can really safely observe what's left inside. As we peek into the openings on the side of the building, we can see some of the old equipment. Here's a very large heat exchanger that probably would work very similar how the radiator in your car works today. This area is where the burning of the coal would happen. As you can see, it's completely surrounded by fire-resistant brick. Those pipes that you can still see are probably carried water. The water would be carried through the pipes and engulfed by the flames that would be coming out of those openings on the bottom. As the fire would make the water boil, it would generate the steam necessary to drive the turbines in the adjacent building to the left. This is where that bottom ash that I'm talking about would be generated on the bottom. They would have to clean it on a regular basis and then dispose of the ash in the landfills to the south of the site. This was the heart of the plant itself and provided the power for the factory. Final panning view towards the north of the plant. In the distance you can see the roundabout with the traffic that leads to Celanese village, the factory's small town or neighborhood that they built for their employees. As you can see, once again, it shows you how they kept this very separate from the rest of the factory for reasons of safety and employee health. As it sits today, this place remains abandoned. Nobody really sees the purpose of cleaning it up because it's very costly to do so.
and it probably will remain like this for a long time until this land becomes valuable enough that somebody's going to be willing to put the money and the effort into cleaning all the asbestos and the other hazardous chemicals that might be inside. I hope you enjoyed the tour and that you have a better idea of the magnitude of these operations and how important this was to the Industrial Revolution.